I was listening to, what is this, a weekly quiz of what was Pipewrench listening to on the way to work, Andy? I was listening to the 68, 67 Johnny Winter live and album this morning, tape, MP3. No, I don't make my own mixtapes. No, I don't. I listen to full albums. So, yeah, let's get with it. Good morning. It's February 20th, 2023. Old Man Winter is back, isn't he? What's up with this chair, man? He's back with a vengeance. We're going to have below zero by Wednesday. Snow. It's cold now. Today is, of course, a national holiday. Some people work, some people don't. It's President's Day. And Andy, we've had, Groundhog's Day and Valentine's Day, and now it's President's Day. A lot of days going on. Maybe we should have National Brunch Day. Let's everybody go to brunch. And while it may be, Andy, did you know that it may be President's Day? But did you know that February 20th is also Clean Out Your Bookcase Day, Love Your Pet Day, National Cherry Pie Day, National Muffin Day, and World Day for Social Justice. And it's also National Pancake Week. Woohoo! Like I said, big cold front coming in, central Montana, winter, February. What did you think? Andy, do we still have our weather balloon? Drone? Is it still up? And it's gone. Last week, of course, our President Biden used a $200 million jet fighter plane armed with $400,000 each. What are they? AIM-9 missiles to take out what may have been a kid's science project. Maybe it could have been a hobbyist balloon. Somebody like us doing a podcast, we got a weather balloon up and bam, it's gone. Of course, they haven't really identified what's been shot down. It's Andy everywhere I turn. It's the American press, and especially television, TV. It's just crazy. Do you know we have 24-hour-a-day news channels for freaking everything? They got the church and religious channels, NASCAR channels, food channels, cooking channels, Snoop and Martha. I know Snoop. Shameless plug. Snoop and Martha have a show on the food channel called Cooking with Snoop and Martha. We have sports channels that cover everything from ping pong to football, government channels, C-SPAN, 24 hours a day. We got house flippers, cartoon characters, courts, criminals, wanted fugitives, We have newscasts of every way, shape, and form. Gossip seems to lead the way. Andy, would you correct me? TMC? I mean, there's an initial, people, for you. I saw that their big headline over the weekend was that Machine Gun Kelly, not the gangster Machine Gun Kelly from Prohibition, but he's a rapper, a singer, an actor, songwriter, does alternative rock, hip-hop. Anyway, him and Megan Fox, you know who Megan Fox is, are an item. However, Megan found on Kelly's phone other women's messages and pictures of their feet. And if you don't know, Machine Gun Kelly is stated, and so is Megan Fox. Megan Fox has, her feet are perfecto. What? Yeah. Give me the look, give me the sigh, and roll the eyes for the feet comments. America and everywhere else in the world is so different when it comes to just this. Okay? For example, Asian countries, European countries, even Eastern European countries, the women take better care of their feet per se. They show them off. Their pedicures, they do paint their nails. They try to make their feet part of the whole package. In America, it's just the opposite. Say that she has cute feet, and the next thing you know, you're one of those creepy feet dudes. I mean, am I right, Andy? That's how you know, the whole cultural thing. Now watch my messenger fill up with girls sending. The whole cultural thing. In other countries, and we're talking European and the Asian and cultures, everything's sexualized more than it is in America, and it's different. Sexuality is not linked always to violence like it is in America. Here we watch Friday the 13th, Terminator, Final Destination, Screams. Europe, first of all, countries in Europe and stuff aren't allowed to watch that kind of violence. And second of all, can you imagine watching Natural Born Killer and Mickey and Mallory? Oh, boy. But no, they're not allowed to watch it because of the violent content. They watch Emmanuel and movies, shows like that. It's like softcore porn, not porn, but softcore. Like they used to have on Cinemax and HBO when we'd all get scrambled. What's that scrambling on the TV? What goes in Europe is here taboo. Drinking. There's not a lot of countries in Europe that have a drinking age per se anymore. It's part of the culture. France, Germany. Here taboo, we make it forbidden, and then when 18, we wonder why everybody goes crazy, and they're sneaking and drinking when they're 15. What it is it's sensationalism, Andy. Whether we're talking about Megan Fox, and they made, or we're talking about just any kind of news whatsoever. If you don't, Andy, if you don't believe me, 60 Minutes, 2020, Dateline, Nightline, Frontline, The Today Show, Tomorrow Show, The Tonight Show, The Daily Show, Daily Grind, Morning Show, Good Morning Show, Sunday Morning, This Week, Last Week in Review, Real Time, Top New Stories, Top 10 Stories, and of course the non-stop local news at 5 and 10. Heck, Andy, we're on 30 minutes every Monday here. Yes, right. Every Monday morning at 8 a.m., join Pipewrench and the Pipewrench podcast as he comes to you with various topics and various forms of humor. Shameless plug? I think not. Just stating facts. So when did this start? This non-stop, right, Megan Fox. Yeah, I stand by my statement. You see him? Cute. When did this, quit interrupting, when did this non-stop media of news and news coverage and things like that happen? I think, in my opinion, Andy, I watched TV growing up, and we had Dallas, and we had the original Cliffhangers, and the TV was saturated with shows like MASH and Cheers and Frasier and all of those shows. Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, of course. Both Laverne and Shirley, yeah. But you have to be able to, I could trace it. And the whole explosion was two major media events that occurred, and they occurred in the 90s. So we're going to blame the 90s for now. I mean, you had two major televised events. They've never seen that kind of shit before. You had OJ Simpson in 94, in 95 trial, and you had the Clinton impeachment in 98. We've never seen a media blitz like they covered these two events. I mean, come on, Andy. The white Bronco incident. No, it's not another story about John Elway and living in Missoula. The white Bronco incident, and he was like driving like what, 10 miles an hour in this police chase? I mean, they interrupted the NBA Finals to broadcast the chase. They had an estimated, 95? I'm seeing 95 million viewers. It was described as the most famous ride on American shores since Paul Revere, end quote. The trial, a year later, about 11 months later, was it, Andy? The Bronco incident was the NBA Finals, so that put him in October? 11 months later, we had the trial. Circus, bum, bum. Do we have circus music? Can I play the bar? Bum, 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 Of course, OJ was accused of murdering his ex, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Ronald Goldman. And then that happened in June of 94. The rest was in October during the all three major networks devoted so much time that Marcia Clark, one of the prosecution attorneys, stated in an interview that housewives were writing threatening letters to the prosecution, to the defense, to the courts, because the trial itself was cutting into so much time of their beloved soap operas. And next, as Pipewrench's world turns, Monica, not knowing the channel. Okay, all right. For those of you that don't remember it, you had the Dream Team. That was the lawyer team that OJ Simpson amassed. It was F. Lee Bailey, Robert Kardashian, and yes, you're right, that is the same Kardashian. That is, so I believe, Kim, Courtney, Khloe, his dad. No, OJ is not Chloe's dad, for heaven's sakes. But yeah, Robert Kardashian, Alan Dershowitz, and Gerald Ullman. You know, the Dream Team cost OJ approximately, back in 95, $6 million. They're saying the prosecution cost the state, and that was Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden, and they said that cost the state $9 to $10 million. So it cost state to prosecute more than it cost OJ to defend. It was actually great viewing because we've never seen anything at that time, anything like that before, Andy. I mean, nothing like it. Remember the judge, Lance Ito? He was way over his head. We can have cameras. We can't have cameras. We don't know what I'm doing. I'm a judge. Look at me. Lance Ito. Kato Kaelin. Yeah, Kato Kaelin. Now, Kato Kaelin was the actor, house guest of OJ Simpson, the surfer dude. He was the star witness for the prosecution because not only did he live there, but he had dinner with OJ on the night at question, but he couldn't account for OJ after dinner from about a little after 9 p.m., Andy, 9:30-ish p.m. and 11 p.m. Murders, of course, occurred at 10:30 p.m. He ended up being treated as a hostile witness. Yes, Andy, I said hostile witness. Because by Monica Clark specifically, because he became shiftless and comedic on the stand. Well, who wouldn't be? Yeah, Frank Furman wasn't so comedic. He was one of the most controversial witnesses. He was, remember, responsible for finding the bloody glove. And he denied that he had racist. He had used terminology that would suggest different 10 years prior. And the defense alleged that he planted the glove. Who else? Faye. Remember Faye Resnick? She was the best friend of Nicole Brown Simpson, also a model and an actress. I don't know who was better looking on camera, Kato or Faye. They almost looked alike, didn't they? Female and male version of the same person. She was so incensed with the the coverage and the fanfare that after her testimony, she got, and I quote right here, Andy, she posed in Playboy to further women's rights and the memory of Nicole. Nudity works for me, Andy. That's a good nudity. Okay? Don't forget Johnny Cochran. Later on, did Johnny say he used the race card? He said not only did he use it, but he dealt it from the bottom of the deck. And of course, the famous lines would be uttered by Johnny was when he. Now remember, OJ was wearing a rubber glove, and the other glove that Furman found was been wet. So he admitted, and then he's like, if the glove don't fit, you have to quit. Did I say if the glove don't fit? What? Okay, Okay? If the glove don't, holy freaking snikes, Andy, what the hell am I going to do now? I remember the OJ trial when the verdict came in. I had a good friend of mine that was a professor up at the college and an advisor, and we talked, and she said, "What do you think?" And I said, "It just proved to me that money buys a verdict in America." That's exactly what it did. Later, OJ did time for robbery in Nevada State Prison. Goldman's encountered with a wrongful death suit and won. OJ countered by writing a book called If I Did It, which basically he lays out the whole damn thing. There's copies or pirate copies out there. It's kind of a little hard to find, but it's a good read. He laid it out perfectly. Knife is never, Andy, the knife was never recovered. Of course I think Clinton. Of course I think OJ did it. We could devote 2 shows to it. Guilty! Guilty! The other I mentioned was the Clinton. That was, 2-3 years later? The whole Clinton impeachment in 98 was also on 24/7, also interrupted soap operas. It's the first time we'd ever seen anything quite like that. Nixon wasn't that kind of television. We weren't in that era with Nixon, okay? It was on 24/7 with Bill Clinton. It was really more cut and dry, Andy. It was, Monica Gate, Lewinsky Gate, whatever. She confirmed that she had an affair, talked to her friend Linda Tripp. Tripp advised her, Monica, to save the infamous blue dress, and the rest is history, If a girl wants to give you a hand job and she's wearing a blue dress, could be trouble, or maybe not. A Rhodes Scholar, Bill Clinton apparently didn't know that a hand job is sex, and stated under oath to Congress, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Lied to Congress, impeached by the House, watched by millions and millions of people, every channel, every network. So, if we make a big deal about news, and I guess this is where I went, okay, Andy, I'm looking at the clock, I'm talking about, major networks going crazy, and the obsession that they have, then why are we having a lack of coverage about the chemical spill on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border? It's a town called East Palestine, Ohio. The train derailment of freaking toxic, poisonous chemicals was it? Basically, they nuked the town. Have you seen the pictures, Andy? Have you seen the pictures, everybody, of what it looks like? Look how the explosion and the burn off that they did on purpose. I mean, it looks like a nuclear explosion. The president, our present Department of Transportation and the EPA are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And the news is covering this as like a non-event. Like, there's nothing going on. Some of the train cars, Andy, I hear, what I read is that some of the train cars were intentionally drained into the water system. They were toxic enough that they purposely were set on fire, sending hazardous, toxic fumes into the atmosphere, into the, again, the department. The security of Pete Buttigieg, he's the Secretary of Transportation. All's good, nothing to see here. Move along, drink bottled water in the meantime. All good. Nobody's covering it. Locals on Facebook, Twitter, social media, reporters, they're freaking everywhere. There's an orange, purplish sheen on every water, everywhere, even water coming out of the tap. It smells. Trees and shrubs are curling up, dying. Pets, livestock's dead. Birds out of the fucking sky. People have headaches, dizziness, trouble breathing, but again, Pete's like, no problem. If you look where the spill was in the river system, it's a big, 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 big problem. Then, why are they covering it? I mean, there's toxins in the air. It's just, I've seen reports of paint coming off walls. Paint damage on cars. Toxins, reports say, should reach, Andy says, the Kentucky Basin. River system, Mississippi, yep. The whole, it's going to affect millions of people's drinking water. Pete's nowhere to be found, which doesn't surprise us because the government never, ever takes any kind of accountability. I was just seeing if our drone came back. It's not. Anybody, the chemical spill is a big story, people. The reports on media, social media, you can't believe all the press. They're like, it's fine, Pete's all, it's fine. It's not fine. If birds are dying in your backyard, trees are shriveling up, and your cat just died, and you have a splitting headache and dizzy, it ain't fine, okay? Well, I'll need a drink of water. Andy, why is this coffee purple? It just infuriates me sometimes, Andy. They can't get their stories straight. And even if the media was covering everything on the up and up and up, okay, you still couldn't believe them. Fox News in open court last week, Andy, Thursday, went Tuesday. Last week in open court. Fox News admitted in a lawsuit that had been filed by Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News. They admitted under oath that they fabricated was the word they used. They fabricated, I say lied, about the stolen election claims because both CNN and Newsmax were covering it, and they were third behind them. And so that the lawsuit, they're trying to say no harm, no foul. And, it's all good. Now, I know, Andy, it's not good. It's not good that they're not covering that chemical spill in Pennsylvania-Ohio border. It's not good at all. When the government doesn't report things and the news networks are swarming on it like flies, then you know we have something to worry about. Remember all those movies? Don't worry about a thing. We have everything under control. I know they don't have nothing under control, or they Russia, China, UFOs, chemical spills. What does that mean? That's right. Duck and cover. Of course you knew it was coming. You got to duck and cover. Remember, in New York, duck into your closet, stay there until further notice. Everybody else, do your drills that you learned in junior high and grade school and tornado drills, because, you know, an invasion from China, UFOs, chemical spills will all, if you just duck and cover, you will be protected. Until next week, remember, everybody, kiss your dogs, love your dogs, spay and neuter, adopt themselves. Until next week, let's go get pancakes!